Welcome again to Fast Pitch Softball. Today we see Western Australia against Tasmania, as well as highlights of two other games, including the first semi-final between the ACT and Victoria. Joining me again in commentary is Jenny Holiday. Jenny, what can we expect?
Mike, all of the teams are playing off for what could be their final position today, so I expect to see lots of terrific action.
We lead off today's show with highlights of the Northern Territory Tasmania game. The winner of this game will go on to play Western Australia. And Tasmania have got Karina Schaefer pitching, and she's going to start pitching to Michelle Somerville, who hits it high and deep into centre field for a double. A great start here by the Northern Territory. She settles in at second base. And now Jenny, Northern Territory star player Kerry Dynelt.
Kerry's captain of the Australian team, Michael, so they're looking for a big performance from her.
And she comes through straight away. A really hard hit single out into left field, showing her class. And Teresa Clay then, ground ball to shortstop, and they go up to second base. Naomi Den handles it and gets the first out. Tony McCormack now with a high fly into right field. It falls between the two fielders, and that's going to give Northern Territory an early lead here in the ball game. They lead 2-0 on that hit from Tony McCormack. And now Shirley Lewis with a fly ball into centre field, handled by Tanya Lipscomb. That ends the inning, but Northern Territory get those 2 runs. Into the bottom of the first, Nicole Follis pitching for the Northern Territory. Runner on base, and Nikki Smith. Smith hits the ball hard. Nice play by Follis. Makes the throw over, and that retires Tasmania. So through one inning, it's 2-0 in favour of the Northern Territory. And Jenny, really great to see some action from teams like Northern Territory and Tasmania. We're so used to seeing Queensland and Western Australia. This is a great opportunity.
Well, these teams are obviously fighting off for the bottom position. Want to keep their pride up, I'd say. So I think it's going to be a terrific, hard-hitting game.
And these players have all really enjoyed the tournament. As you saw, Belinda Somerville with a hit. Now Kerry Dynelt reaches out and pokes this into right field. This could carry right centre field, home run for Kerry Dynelt. 4 runs now for the Northern Territory. And there's the Australian captain, Kerry Dynelt.
Well, that's what we look at her for, whether it's at Australian level or this level, Mike, really pulling it out when the team needs it.
And so great for Northern Territory to have one of the best players in the world playing on their team at this sort of tournament. It's got to give the rest of the players a lot of confidence.
That you can come up with that early in the game, it's great.
Shelley Keane now pitching for Tasmania, and this ball is dropped into right field by Paula Ngove. Here comes the runner to score, Teresa Clay, and she's in ahead of the throw. Northern Territory on a roll, lead 5-0. We now head to the bottom of the third. Kelly Smith for Tasmania aboard on a walk. And Kim Tollinaire is going to come up. Another one of these pickup players. The teams are obviously allowed to grab a couple of players from different teams. And she hits this ball hard in left field. Home run! Great piece of hitting. 2 runs for Tasmania.
Well, that's the value a pickup player can add, Mike. Kim's already added 2 home runs to her tally before this game, so there's a third.
And that really was great effort for Tasmania. Gets them on the board. It's 5-2, and now we go back to the top of the fourth, and here she is again, Kerry Dynelt. 2 hits already. Number 3 driven out into left field, and that gets Northern Territory started again.
Must be hard for Kerry, Mike, coming in from overseas.
Teresa Clay with a hit into centre field. Tanya Lipscomb can't come up with it. Chasing it back to the fence. Runner at second base as Kerry Dynelt comes around to score. Another run for the Northern Territory. Tony McCormack now, and she keeps going, lofts it down the right field line as the Northern Territory to continue to show this great offence. Runners at first and third. It's going to bring up Paula Ngove. And Northern Territory, Jenny, look really good with the bats.
They're really rallying behind Kerry's success, aren't they?
Whoa, that one got away. They really are. She's leading the way. Wild throw out into centre field. And another run crosses the plate for Northern Territory. They've got to be very happy with their performance.
What a thrill it must be for those players to just be on a side with someone the calibre of Kerry.
Paula Ngove with a ground ball to Naomi Den. Nice play. She came in quickly. Strong throw and gets her at first base. Paula Ngove heads back into these nice spacious dugouts. And now Shirley Lewis. Just punches that one. It was a high pitch. Knocks it out into right field. And that scores another run for the Northern Territory. They just keep rolling on. Nicole Follis on the ground. Leah Bryden straight through her. Has trouble coming up with it. Here's the throw into third base and they don't get her. The ball gets away. A little bit of scrappy defence there from the Tasmanian team. But Ali Coates knocks it back to the pitcher and that ends the inning. A great inning for the Northern Territory. They now lead 8-2 and just about look like they've got this game wrapped up. We can see there 11 hits to 4. It really has been some great hitting.
A really exciting game.
Into the bottom of the fifth now. Kelly Smith leads off with a ball up behind second base. The shortstop does come up with it. She gets a base runner for Tasmania. Now Kim Tollinaire hit the home run. Lifts this one high as well into deep right centre field. Could be a crash. Oh, drops in front of the right fielder. And runners advance for Tasmania, so a good chance for them here. Nikki Temple now chops the ball into the dirt. And Teresa Clay can't come up with it. And it gets kicked into the dugout. So it's going to give the runners some extra bases.
This is really going to bring Tassie back into the game.
Nikki Smith now. Nice play, but can't come up with it. Snatched at the ball, had it in a glove, Teresa Clay, but it fell out. And that's another great opportunity for Tasmania. Michelle Wickham hits the ball hard into centre field, and suddenly Tasmania right back in this, Jenny.
Most definitely. I think that Northern Territory need to do something out there right now, Mike, to stop the Tasmanians scoring any further.
Nikki Smith there was thrown out at the plate. That ended the inning 8-5. Jim Seaborn, the Tasmanian coach, doing a great job. Happy with the way his team's going at the moment, I'm sure, as they're getting back into it in the top of the sixth. Shirley Lewis hits the ball on the ground. Leah Bryan tags the runner, throws to first. Great double play. Tasmania looking pretty sharp now as we get into this last part of the ball game. They're still behind 8-5, but Naomi Den's going to try and do something about that and hits it through into left field. Nice piece hitting as the Northern Territory team to get together, and we've got a new pitcher. Renee Froese is going to come in and pitch to the Northern Territory, face Nikki Temple. Hits it over to second base. Michelle Somerville throws to the plate, and they get Naomi Den on the force. Nikki Temple a little bit disappointed. Now Nikki Smith. They go home for the first one. Kerry Donnell up to first base. Double play, great defence. Northern Territory in a lot of trouble there, but they retain their 8-5 lead.
That's really important out there, Mike, to make sure they contain the team right there.
So here we are in the bottom of the seventh inning. Northern Territory still with a 3-1 lead. Just 3 more outs to seal this victory. But Shelley Keane comes in and starts it in Tasmania's favour. A single into centre field. They've still got a lot to do, but they have a runner at first base. Michelle Wickham hits the ball back through the middle. Off the pitcher's foot, Michelle Somerville tries to get it, but they don't come up with the ball, and Tasmania got a couple of runners on. Kerry Donnell just trying to settle things down with the team, understand the situation. Jim Seaborn talking to his batter, and that's going to be Alison Norris. First pitch, Kerry Donnell throws up to second. They've got the runner caught, but the ball gets away, and here comes Shelley Keane in to score. 8-6, Tasmania creeping closer. Alison Norris rips this into right field. Oh, just past the outstretched arm of the right fielder. She's coming around to third base. The runner scores from second and makes it 8-7 on a triple by Alison Norris. And Jenny, Tasmania just won't give up.
Well, right there on third base is our equalising run.
Leah Bryden, beautiful hit, straight back the middle, and the game is tied. This is unbelievable. They're trying to get her at first base. Looked like it deflected off the umpire, and that's going to put Leah Bryden at second base. What a hero she is for Tasmania. It's now 8-all. Naomi Den lays down the bunt. Here comes third base player. Throw gets away. Tasmania are going to win. This is incredible. What a happy team. Tasmania defeat Northern Territory as the winning run scores in an incredible game. It's 9-8. A great performance. Northern Territory looked like they had it won. And after the game, Jenny Holiday caught up with Kerry Donnell.
Kerry, first of all, congratulations on a great personal effort for that game. You look terrific with the bat. How are you feeling for this tournament?
Well, actually, I'm quite glad it's over. I mean, this is my last, probably one of my last games as a Northern Territorian athlete, so it was a bit disappointing to lose it in the end. They really came out and, you know, gave Tassie a good run for their money, and like I said, disappointing that we lost it in the end.
A few errors there for the game, but Tassie did come back with a few hits. Were you a bit surprised by them?
Not particularly, because the pitching for the Northern Territory this week has been really tough. It's evident just in all the games that if you have a great pitcher that contain the batters, your team is going to do pretty well. And unfortunately, Northern Territory has really lacked in that area this week, and so the hits weren't a surprise to me.
It's been a great career though, Kerry, with the Territory team. Have you got a highlight?
Highlight, well, I'd have to go way back, probably in Darwin, would have been about 86. Northern Territory actually was pretty competitive back in the 80s, and we had a great group of athletes going around. And I think hitting a first Grand Slam for me at the national titles was probably one of my highlights, and I believe I won the Mitch Nelson medal that year, so that was probably one of my highlights of my career.
Kerry, all the best for 2000. Of course, the team hasn't been named. You are the current captain of the Australian team. Looking forward to seeing you again in green and gold down the track this year.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it. It's going to be a great year. I have a great feeling with the Australian team when it finally gets selected and all the athletes, the 15 athletes, can finally get to work and prepare for the Olympic